Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Greater Manchester, Sale and Heywood Road. It's BBC Radio Cumbria Sports online via the BBC Sport app, website, and your smart speakers, of course, this afternoon as well. So if you've got a smart speaker in your corner, you can ask it to ask BBC Sounds to play Swinton Lions versus Whitehaven, and we'll be on your smart speaker this afternoon as well, of course, online, worldwide via the BBC Sport app and website. So wherever you're listening from us, round the world this afternoon, and I know we get a few international listeners. I know, especially this afternoon, we've got one coming in from Cos. Hiya, man. But yeah, thank you very much for tuning in on BBC Radio Cumbria Sports Online this afternoon. We're going to hear from the Whitehaven head coach, James Newton, in just a moment, but also we're going to run through your two lineups, starting with Whitehaven, of course. So Whitehaven will line up firstly with Jordan Burns in at fullback, Dave Eggleston and Seth Woodend on the wings, Mitchell Todd and Ethan Bickerdike in the centres. It's a half-back partnership of Kieran Walker and a new man in Luca Walsh, who joins on loan from St Helens. Starting props, Jake Pearce and Alfie Sinclair, also in from the Saints, was with Haven last week. Ellison Allgate in at hooker. Second rows are Connor Holliday and Ben Pearce. Jack Kellett in at loose forward. On the interchange bench, it's Brad Brennan, Alfie Briggs, Lewis Brown and a new man in Cole Marsh, also on loan from St Helens. Jackson Smith is the 18th man for James Newton this afternoon. The Lions line up with Louis Roberts in at fullback, Patrick Arvan and Harry Hyam on the wings, Dante Morley, Samuels and Adam Jones in the centres. It's a half-back partnership of Rhys Breers and the returning Jody Gibson. Starting props are Jordan Brown and Ben Killian. Josh Eves, the former Whitehaven loanee, on his 150th career appearance for the former Saints man. In at second rows, it's Gav Rodden and Dean Meadows. In at loose forward, Finlay Irwin. On the interchange bench, Bobby Shingley, Trent Kelly Duffy, Tom Ratchford and Charlie McCurry. The interchange, if needed. The 18th man, I should say, if needed, for Anthony Murray's side this afternoon is Aaron Willis. And it will be Jordan Burns who will kick off, and that kick off comes in now. And it will look to be collected by the Swinton players, and they're going to fetch it forward are the Lions. Around about 18, 19 metres away from their own line as they'll fetch this forward. Coming across to the centre of the field. Two involved in the tackle there for Whitehaven. Jack Kellett alongside Ellison Holgate. Continue now to fetch it forward to the home side. BBC Radio Cumbria Sport this afternoon. Championship Rugby League brought to you by the BBC Sport app and website. The Lions continue to march their way up the field. Held call comes in from referee Carl Hughes. Josh Eves looks to scoot in from dummy half. Gets the offload away into the hands then of Finlay Irwin and gets the ball across right once more again. Trying to get his arm free is the Lions man, but what is now the 5 and last, just short of halfway. Eves will go right into the hands of the returning Jody Gibson, and Jordan Burns will just set himself underneath it, collect it sort of 20 metres away from his own line, and then find Dave Eggleston. Eggleston is going to be wrapped up, taken down 28 metres away from his own line. Holgate to be lining weight at dummy half, into the hands then now of Mitchell Todd, and Todd is going to be taken down, the former Lauca man, 15, 16 metres away from the halfway line as Jake Pearce is down the man to fetch it forward, and he's brought down 9 metres short of the halfway line. In at centre field will go left into the hands of Jack Kellett, and then find Ben Pearce, and Pearce just nearly gets his head through a little bit of a gap there, did the back rower, and now taken over the halfway line, coming back towards the middle then with Kellett, and Kellett just pops it up then to the on-loan man in Alfie Sinclair, and Sinclair will get within 35, 36 metres of the try line on what is now the 5 and last. Goes left into the hands of Walker. Walker puts the kick up in the end. Oh, end over end. Louis Roberts will be underneath it. He can't take it cleanly. It has gone backwards, and it means Roberts will play this ball 1.5 metres away from his own line. Advantage Whitehaven in the early stages. Yeah, real good first set there. I think it was good first set there from Swinton as well. Got a couple of offloads on, but good kick reception. They went the full length of the field, and fantastic kick chase at the end of the set from Whitehaven. So Swinton under real pressure early on. Pat Arvan will be the man to fetch it forward here for the Lions. Of course, recently joined the Lions from North Wales, and he's lost that. He's judged to have been stripped, and just let all the pressure that Whitehaven had been able to build in them early stages, and now get an opportunity to clear the lines to the Lions. Yeah, I think James Newton will be really disappointed with that. I think they had a great set, real good kick. Pat Arvan, as you mentioned, he'll be the main backfield player for Swinton to get him on the front foot, and one thing you can't afford to do is give penalties away in that area. Rhys Breers is the man that's banged it into touch, and it's Adam Jones, the centre on the right hand side, will fetch the ball forward, and he's taking the Lions over the halfway line, so it'll be Eves that will lie in wait in at dummy half. Comes left then into the hands of Gibson. Couple of pairs of hands, and then nearly through the line there is the loose forward Finlay Irwin, an exciting young player is Erwin Whitehaven. Will have to keep an eye out on him this afternoon. But the Lions continue to get themselves on the front foot. But there's 3 that was initially involved in that tackle to bring down Ben Killian. 25 metres out, comes left into the hands of Briers, then into the hands of Louis Roberts, and Roberts is short. Pace there as Louis Roberts to get through the gap, and he's got through past Luca Walsh, who spent time here earlier in the campaign with the Lions, but he's been able to show a fantastic turn of pace as the Lions fullback, and that penalty has been able to be jumped on by Swinton Lions, and it means Roberts is in for his 4th try of the season. He's put it down underneath the sticks. First blood goes to the Lions. It is Swinton 4, Haven 0.
Yeah, I think you've got a mix of real poor defence from this Whitehaven right edge there, but you've got to give a lot of praise there for Briers. He took the ball right to the line, and Louis Roberts can do that against any side. You know, really exciting young player. Made an error probably 2 minutes ago from a kick from the Whitehaven team, but that penalty on Pat Arvan give Swinton some real good field position, and then you've got that combination of Briers and Roberts, something that they've worked on over the last couple of weeks, and fantastic start for Swinton.
And like I said, that all comes from that penalty. You said that James Newton will be ripping his hair out with you. Yes, you've got to try and slow down Pat Arvan, but you've got to do it legally, Steve.
Yeah, 100%. You've got to take that line up, and you know, he's a powerful player, but to give that penalty away after a great kick and a great chase is really disappointing. One thing you've got to do if you do that, you've got to back it up with a good defensive set, and Whitehaven didn't do that.
Briers has added on the extras, which means it is Lions 6, Haven 0. In just about the 3rd, 4th minute here at Heywood Road, and just the start that Whitehaven didn't want. We said it last week, it's like a feast of the famine with Whitehaven. They either get a really good start and scored in the early stages, or this afternoon it's been a famine and they've scored and they've conceded in the early stages. They need to stay in this one here at Heywood Road if they want anything from this one this afternoon. Jordan Burns comes in with the kick-off. It will be allowed to bounce. A rock-hard surface out here at Heywood Road this afternoon. Obviously hasn't been much rain in and around these parts in the last few weeks. And Eves will be lining Weir to dummy half, sort of 15 metres away from his own line. They'll fetch it towards the middle of the field. And Haven pushing the attacker back. Holgate and Connor Holliday vice-captain, pushing the man back there. Briers with ball in hand. They're looking to play in the early stages here. And it's Morley Samuels, former North Wales Crusader. Spent time at the Crusaders with Anthony Murray. Coming down this short side, and Roberts is nearly through again. Walsh has got into him and helped there by Todd. The 9 metres away here at Swinton from the halfway line. In the hands now of Gavrod, and he'll take them over that halfway line on what is now the 5 and last. Eves will go right into the hands then of Gibson. He'll get that kick away. Will be allowed to bounce by Jordan Burns, and they'll be hoping it just goes dead, and it will go dead. Like I say, really hard surface here at Heywood Road this afternoon. Like I say, obviously hasn't been much rain around these parts in the last few weeks. Seth Woodend has had to go and get the ball, well, another ball, because it did bounce behind the advertising board, so it'll now be a tap from Woodend, and he'll be the man to fetch it forward, and the Barrow Raiders Loney will be taken down 28 away from his own line. Walker will be the man to dive in at dummy half. He'll go left into the hands then of Ethan Bickerdike. Bickerdike taken down. Comes back in towards the middle now with Jack Kellett. Will get it along to Jake Pearce, and Pearce will find himself 9-10 metres away from the halfway line. Holgate comes into the hands of Luca Walsh. Out the back then to Jordan Burns before getting it into the hands of Mitchell Todd, and they're going to try and drag Todd towards the touchline. Held. Call comes in from referee Carl Hughes. Eccleston in there at dummy half. Goes left into the hands of Walsh. Then finds Jake Pearce, but he's met there straight away by Brown. Jordan Brown is Jake Pearce, but Pearce gets himself just over the halfway line. So a couple of tackles left in this set for Whitehaven. Goes left into the hands of Walker. He's gone for the early kick, trying to get the ball in behind, and it's going to be collected by Harry Hyam, and he'll be the man to fetch it forward, and he's going to be taken down 20 metres away from his own line. Yeah, I think that was a really good set from Whitehaven. What they've got to do, though, is back it up with a defensive set there. Now, again, Arvan's just taking the ball, quite loose, quick play the ball, and then you've got Roberts again taking off from dummy half, so they've just got to control that ruck a little bit more, slow it down, get the contact a little bit better, and then that'll enable them to get on the front foot and better field position. Hyam's going to be the man that's taken down. They've been able to slow the Lions' momentum down a little bit in the last couple of tackles, have Whitehaven, but Irwin then yet again an exciting young player, but he's going to be taken down. Combination of Kellett and Pearce on the 5 and last on their own 40 there and he's limping away from that tackle. Is Irwin. Kick comes in. Jordan Burns is racing to get to it, gets his hands to it, and it's gone backwards, and he'll allow Seth Woodend to pick that up around about 8 metres away from his own line, and the Raiders' Lawney will make it to around about 22 metres away from his own line, with Kieran Walker, the man, having to dive in a dummy half I should say, as Ethan Bickerdike is now the man to fetch it forward, and the Lions just trying to get on top defensively here.
Yeah, I think I was listening to James Newton's pre-match comments and it was on about the little things, and you're looking at something like Jack Kellett doing that little kick pressure, and that's the little things that win your games, and it just goes to show when he's got the ball and without the ball is a very important play for this Whitehaven team.
Sinclair will be the man to play the ball. Short of halfway, Jordan Burns overran Ellison Holgate there, so he then had to get the pass away to Kellett. Kellett escaped the first tackle. He isn't going to escape the second attempt. Slow to get up, this one is Kellett. On the 5 and last, comes right into the hands of Walsh, and Walsh's kick is end over end. Gone towards Pat Arvan. And now he'll be the man to fetch it forward. Todd slows him down, combined then with Dave Eccleston has brought the big man down. He'll play it 25 away from his own line, into the middle then between Morley Samuels. Stopped is Samuels, just short of his own 30. Harry Hyam comes back to sort of where that play the ball was. They're really trying to go on that Whitehaven right hand side edge defence, but Walsh and Connor Holliday combined. Eves then in a dummy half goes right, and it's the forward Ben Killian that's going to be picked up and dumped legally, referee Carl Hughes says. Goes right into the hands then of Jordan Brown, the other forward, the other prop forward for the Lions, on what is now the 5 and last, short of halfway again, so Eves will go right. Ben Pearce trying to put pressure on Jordan Gibson on this occasion. Woodend steadies himself underneath the ball, 23 metres away. And just with that little bit of kick pressure, it means Whitehaven start 10 metres further forward than they have done in the last couple of sets.
Yeah, best defensive set of the game, that so far from Whitehaven. This Swinton team, very quick, very agile from dummy half as well, and they just tighten the defensive line up, put some good kick pressure on, and they're at halfway line now, just getting some good field position. Great set there from Whitehaven.
Mitchell Todd will be the man that's going to be brought down just short of the halfway line. 6 again in favour of Whitehaven. Lions still continuing after the referee Carl Hughes had given the 6 again call, as Ellison Holgate's the man to be taken down now. He's taken down 40 metres away from the Lions line, sort of 12-13 metres in from this near right hand side touchline from our commentary position. Connor Holliday's only going to be taken down 31 metres out, just to the right of the post. Holgate will go left into the hands of Keller. He just pops it up and then finds Jake Pearce, and Pearce has found his usual 10 metres. Centre field now, Whitehaven. Irwin still down in back play for the Lions, comes right into the hands then of Walsh, then comes across to Connor Holliday, bursts through the gap and tries to get the offload away, find Jordan Burns. Initially then it went forward and it's gone into the hands of the 150th appearance man, Josh Eves, and the Lions do have a let off. Morley Samuels is the man to fetch it forward. Finley Irwin is limping out in back play.
Yeah, they just split the field. It was, I think it might be an injury, just stopping play, but it was good, real good field position that from Whitehaven. They just split the field from a 50, both half back split, and then Jordan Burns went from left to right really late, and it was just the execution of the pass from the Whitehaven team that they just struggled with at the back end of it, but real promising play.
Morley Samuels played the ball and we're back underway here at Heywood Road. Lions have made it up to 25 metres away from their own line, back into towards the middle of Pat Arvan. Presence of a prop, speed of a winger, he's really one that you want in your side, and Anthony Murray would have been over the moon when the opportunity come up to sign the experienced winger. Lions have made it up to just short of their own 40 metre line. It's into the hands of Jordan Brown again once more, and he's took a few tackles in these early stages as Jordan Brown, just short of halfway, comes into the hands of Breers, and Breers will be the man to get the kick away. Dave Eccleston had to take a few steps to go and collect that one, but it's collected it sort of 17-18 metres away from his own line, and he's made plenty of metres, more horizontally rather than anything else. Almost escaped the tackle to make a few metres more there, did Dave Eccleston, but then goes left now into the hands of Seth Woodend from Kieran Walker, who had dived into the dummy half position. Walker once again will dive in a dummy half now, looking to play down that short left hand side into the hands of Ethan Bickerdike. Bickerdike's going to be taken down. Whitehaven's leading try scorer so far this season with 5 tries in 13 games is Ethan Bickerdike. Jack Kellett through the outrageous dummy, then looked to step back inside and is brought down on the halfway line. Holgate goes left into the hands then of Ben Pearce, although it hits the floor. Reeled a knock on by referee Carl Hughes. Not the mistakes that Whitehaven will want to be making. It'll be turnover ball for the Lions on the halfway line.
No, it was I think a good defence there from Swinton as well. It was a good set, real arm wrestle over this last 2 or 3 sets from both teams, but Holgate just jumped out from dummy half, just got the marker engaged, and it was just the execution of that. And that's the second set on the bounce that they failed to complete, this Whitehaven team. And Swinton can't have enough ball in this area. And when you've got players like Briers and Gibson and Roberts in that side, that can't afford to do back-to-back errors.
So Eves goes right from the base of the scrum, gets it into the hands of the centre, Adam Jones, and Jones is trying to escape down the right-hand side edge, nearly got away from the Whitehaven defence there, but he's brought down. Comes left, into the hands of Jones again once more. Gets the offload away as Jones, bounces into the hands of Jordy Gibson, he goes down that short right-hand side. Then coming back into towards the middle of the field now are the Lions. Whitehaven defence will wrap them up 20 metres away now, in line with the right-hand side post, and still plenty of tackles in the bank. Comes left, finds Briers now, comes into the hands then of the back rower Gav Rodden, and Rodden's taken down 11-12 metres out, just to the left of the post. Eves goes into the middle and finds then Ben Killian. Killian's going to be taken down eventually, is he? Yes, but the line is in sight here. Eves in there at dummy half, will go right. Rodden then looks to step back inside. Can the Whitehaven defence hold out here? Or being able to get the ball down as Jordy Gibson is judged to have been held up just over the line. He was fighting there was Jordy Gibson for what would have been his second try on his return here to the Swinton Lions. But Whitehaven's defence just hold out. Is it the 5 and last? Referee Carl Hughes seems to be signalling so. Goes down, look now, short right-hand side into the hands of Louis Roberts, and he's just going to look to turn that ball over. Not the best final play option in the world, but not yet again, Steve, not the worst place in the world to turn it over.
No, it's a good place to turn the ball over, but I think they'll be disappointed with that. If they could have just dabbed the ball through and got a repeat set, then this Whitehaven team looks tired. But in the previous one, just that desperation on their own goal line, I think it was Jordan Burns just held Gibson up as near the try line, so they got the rewards from that.
Round about a quarter of an hour gone here in Greater Manchester. BBC Radio, Cumbria Sports Online. It's 6-0 in favour of Swinton as Mitchell Todd is the man to fetch it forward. Put down on his back is the centre. Holgate in a dummy half. Finds then Connor Holliday. Holliday looks to take the line on, but he's been pushed back 2, 3, 4, 5 metres there as Connor Holliday. Jordan Burns slows him down. Holgate will then go left from dummy half and find Kellett. Then get it into the hands of Alfie Sinclair. And Sinclair will stand up and they'll play the ball. It is going to be the 5 and last into the hands of Walker. They're going for it into the hands of Ethan Biggerdike. I think they had to go through more pressure than anything else. Kieran Walker didn't have the opportunity to get that kick away. Neither did Ethan Biggerdike, and it's going to be a handover, and the Lions once again will start with possession inside the Haven half.
Yeah, you've got to credit Swinton Lions for that that defensive set. They're getting numbers in, and what you want when you're in that area is you play prior to the kick to be really quick, so your kicker has a good opportunity to do that. It was real slow from Whitehaven, and that just allowed this Swinton right edge to get off the line and smother the kicker.
So Eves goes down their right-hand side edge now, finds Adam Jones, and Jones is picked up nearly over the horizontal. We can hear the hurled call coming in from referee Carl Hughes. Eves will come towards the middle now with Gibson. Gibson just pops it up then to the interchange. Charlie McCurry, who come on to replace Finlay Irwin a few minutes ago. Eves finds Gibson, run across the line and dumps it once or twice to Gibson. Didn't really make any more metres after that. It's being wrapped up by the Whitehaven defence. Eves lies in wait at dummy half. Centre of the field, went right down into the hands of Ben Killen. And Killen's going to find 10 metres and then be taken down. 5 and last once again here for the Lions. Come back towards the middle. Are they? And finding the hands of Rhys Briers, who's just gone under through their Whitehaven defence, maybe just switched off a little bit, expecting to go down that right-hand side edge, but they brought it back towards the middle, and Briers was able to just put the ball down underneath the sticks for his second try of the season. It's the Lions' second try of the afternoon here at Heywood Road. BBC Radio, Cumbria Sport. It's Swinton 10, Haven 0.
Yeah, it's been really impressive as Rhys Briers. He was the architect of the first try that Swinton had with the ball to Roberts. But on that occasion, what you want your half-back to do is run, and he did that. Great play from dummy half, very loose from the Whitehaven ruck, and he's jumped in from dummy half, and Rhys Briers, he wasn't waiting for the pass. He went as 100 mile an hour, got the ball and went straight under the sticks. But that comes from that poor kick again from Whitehaven. They had a couple of errors back to back, failed to get the kick away, and you know, when you've got some good half-backs and a good combination, this Swinton team can certainly punish you.
They didn't need to put that pressure on themselves, Steve. That kick needed to come in, that final play option. Even if it was only 10-15 metres, get it over the touchline. The worst thing in the world they could have done is what they come up with, which was turning the ball over, and look what it's resulted with.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe when it's like that, I'd like to see Holgate kick from dummy half a bit more. You know, it's a good thing to have in your armoury if you're getting good kick pressure and, you know, slow play the balls, and this Swinton team are really working hard to put the kickers under pressure. If you've got a 9 that can jump out and kick and drill that ball down, if you think about the very first set of the game when they put the ball up and Roberts dropped it, they've not gone back there since. So I think that's something that they could possibly bring into the game.
Briers has tagged on the extras, which means it's Swinton 12, Heywood 0, and not the start and not the first quarter that Whitehaven will have wanted, but it's definitely the start that Anthony Money and his Swinton Lions side will have wanted. The kickoff comes in from Jordan Burns, collected by Louis Roberts, and he goes right, and the Lions will continue once again to fetch it up, but Whitehaven looking to try and push the attacker back. Comes in towards the middle, then we're looking to go for it again, but Briers has lost that, and it's bounced into the hands of Walsh, and now an opportunity. There'll be no advantage, says referee Carl Hughes, so an opportunity for Whitehaven. They haven't had a lot. We haven't. Our necks are almost cricking due to us just looking left since the start of this game, but Whitehaven will have an opportunity now to tackle this Swinton line and try and take advantage of what has been a rare Swinton error so far.
Yeah, they've just got to build some pressure. I know it's the old saying, but this is the first time since the very first 5 minutes that they've been in this territory. So, you know, they don't have to score, but they have to fire a few shots at this Swinton team. You know, it's been quite easy to defend. Burns is looping down this left-hand side, but they've got to put some pressure on this Swinton defence.
Ball's ended up in the hands of Ethan Bickerdike. He's 12 metres out, is the centre. Comes right then into the hands of Alfie Sinclair, and Sinclair brought down 8-9 metres away to the left-hand side of the post. Holgate looking to go down that short side into the hands of Kieran Walker, but Walker's decided that wasn't the place to go and was trying to turn back inside, but he's eventually going to be wrapped up, is Kieran Walker. 10 in from that near left-hand side touchline, comes into the hands then of Sinclair, who'll try and spin out the tackle. Had a couple of games with the Lions already this season, has Sinclair. Will come right into the hands of Kellett. That Kellett looks to step back inside. Can Jack Kellett get over? He's going to be taken down. It is the 5 and last for Whitehaven. Surely repeat set minimum they'll fill is needed here. Holgate will go left into the hands of Walker. Puts a little kick in. Can it be dived on? Is it going to be knocked dead? The Whitehaven man's dived on it. Is it? Could be Kieran Walker again. If not, it could be Ellison Holgate. It is Ellison Holgate. It just got a knock on from the Swinton man, and Holgate the fastest to react, and Whitehaven have hit back immediately here at Heywood Road. BBC Radio Cumbria Sport online. Lions 12, Haven 4. Very, very fortunate for Whitehaven, but Steve McCormack, they'll take it.
Yeah, well, you make your own luck, don't you, Jordan? And you know, it was an outstanding set that they just put pressure on this right edge with a lead run. It was Kellett again, just like a halfback, isn't he? In a big man's body there. Now he can pass, he can run. On that occasion, he decided to run, stuck over the ball, played it quick, and we mentioned about them having to just build that pressure. Great kick there, and as you mentioned, I think that's the first time they've done that, and they've come away with a point. So yeah, I think really encouraging set from Whitehaven. They've showed now that if they can get in that field position, then they can score some points.
Third try of the season for Ellison Holgate, and back-to-back try scoring games, and it is now Kieran Walker who'll tag on the extras and reduce that deficit just back to 6 points here at Heywood Road. That is what James Newton would have wanted to see, that the ability to get back into the contest and ensure that Haven weren't coming from behind their stick, Steve, with their heads down.
Yeah, it's the character you need, isn't it? They could have easily dropped the heads, you know, 12-0 down, not really playing well, and had no field position. But the one thing that Swinton do, they will go wide in their own 10-20 metre line, and that was Briers there. You know, they had a big shift from right to left. It was a really good defensive line from this right side of this Whitehaven team, and Briers came up with the error, and James Newton will be really pleased with what happened after that.
Briers with the kick-off, collected by Luca Walsh, and it'll be Jake Pearce, the man, to fetch it forward. The former Wafbrow man will make it up to 12, 13, 14 metres away from his own line. A couple of extra metres post-contact there it was from Jake Pearce. Full-back Burns will dive in at dummy half and comes right into the hands of Mitchell Todd, and they're trying to push Todd back a metre or two there, but he's taken down on the rugby union markings, the 22, and it's going to be a penalty here for Whitehaven, and now just giving themselves more opportunity here, Haven, and Anthony Woody will be disappointed with the last 3 or 4 minutes, Steve.
Yeah, it was Samuels, I think just trying to get him on the floor and just get that extra second, and again, similar, the momentum's just changing in this game. Swinton, it was all Swinton the first 15 minutes of it, but Whitehaven are coming back into it, getting some good field position, holding the ball, and throwing quite a few things at this Swinton team.
Found around about 15 metres with the penalty kick did Luca Walsh, and it's Sinclair on the second tackle now. Will take Whitehaven just over the halfway line in at centre field. Holgate directing traffic in a dummy half, will come right into the hands end of Jake Pearce. He'll take it to the line, comes out the back, then finds Luca Walsh, and Walsh will have to take the tackle, taken down 40 metres away from the Swinton line, 10 metres inside the Swinton half for Whitehaven. Jake Pearce now finds 8-9 metres before being taken down, getting back to the middle of the field. Holgate will scoot from dummy half before then going left, finds Kieran Walker, comes back inside then to Jordan Burns. Burns trying to escape the clutches of the Swinton defence. He's made a few post-contact metres there as well, and it's going to be a penalty here. They had the hands round the ball, and Jordan Burns knew all he had to do really was let go. Oh no, has he reversed his decision there? It looked like he had initially given the penalty, but then he's given the knock on, and it will be a Swinton head and feed scrum down, is it?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he did signal the penalty, didn't he? Yeah. So he might have got a call from one of his touch judges. Quite lucky there, aren't they? I think this Swinton team there, it was another good set from Whitehaven with Burns just getting his hands on the ball and causing a few problems, but yeah, the referee's changed his mind with I think a call from the touch judge.
Yeah, it looks like he's got the call from the touch judge on our near side. I think the far side from the camera position here at Heywood Road this afternoon. It's Morley Samuels will be the man to fetch it forward 24-25 metres away from his own line as he'll play this back in towards the middle. We've Rodden. Eves in there at dummy half will want a victory on his 150th career appearance, and into the hands now of McCurry, the man to fetch it forward and taken down short of halfway, then over the halfway line now they are with Jordan Brown are the Lions. Great run in there from Jordan Brown. Swinton fans to our left hand side calling for an infringement there. It's Rodden once again, the man that's got his hands on the ball. The back rower will play this, and it'll be the 5 and last. Comes left into the hands of Breers, and bit of pressure put on from Breers, but easily able to get the kick away. Jordan Burns collects 5 metres away from his own line, and straight away knows only one way, and that's forward, and he's taken down 16-17 metres away from his own line. Maybe found an extra metre or two there post contact as well. He'll get up and play the ball now, and it's going to be a penalty. Hands in at the play of the ball, or pushing Jordan Burns to not give him an opportunity to play the ball, and once again any pressure that the Lions were trying to put on Steve, they've just blown right off with that.
Yeah, and what you the flying out the line, Jordan, so what you're getting is loose contact there now, and then that's enabling the Whitehaven team to wrestle and get some extra leg drive in the thing, and it gets very messy, and that's the second set where they've given a penalty away, and just gives Whitehaven some good field position.
Alfie Briggs out there now, as is Brad Brennan for Whitehaven, trying to get the offload away. Didn't need to do that there, did Brad Brennan? Trying to make an immediate impact coming onto the field, and it's 6 again now in favour of the Lions. Doesn't really do anything there, does it? It's just the extra tackle, but we know how important that can be. So it's Alfie Briggs and Brad Brennan on for the for Whitehaven. Jake Pearce and Jack Kellett, the men to be withdrawn. Eves will go right, finds Gibson, then finds Breeze, who's just having to hold up. Cole Marsh out there as well, so there's been a few changes out there for James Newton's side. Ben Killian with ball in hand now, and he's taken down 20 metres out centre field. Lions 12, Haven 6. BBC Radio Cumbria Sports comes left then into the hands of Gibson, then finds Roberts, and Roberts just has to slow down, and he wanted to take the tackle there, and made sure that he knew that did the Whitehaven defence. Goes right on what is the 5 and last. Gibson will put the ball in. It's going to have to be dealt with, and it is dealt with by Ellison Holgate. He'll try and escape the clutches of the defence, but he can't do, and he'll be taken down only 3 or 4 metres away from his own line. Ben Pearce will now be the man that has to do the hard yards. He's done them hard yards very well and brought down just short of his own 20. Whitehaven getting the fast play of the ball. Walker scooting out of dummy half, and he's brought down third tackle 23 metres away from his own line. Marsh is in there, and he looks like he's replaced Ellison Holgate. He can do a job at loose forward or hooker. Looks like he's doing a job at Whitehaven. Took in position this afternoon is Cole Marsh, and it is now Alfie Briggs, the Wakefield Loney, the man to fetch it forward. It is the 5 and last. Will go left into the hands of Kieran Walker. Walker gets the kick in. Roberts going to have to deal with it. He's dealt with it and collected it low to the floor there as Roberts then just popped it up into the hands of Harry Hyam. The wingers trying to escape the clutches of the Whitehaven defence, but it's two low knees, Alfie Briggs and Luke Walsh, that fetch him down, and the Lions will play this 20 away from their own line.
Two real tired looking teams there now. I think it's the first long kick that Whitehaven's got for the first time probably in the last 5 or 10 minutes there. But they're barring up now, they're aiming up. Brennan's come on. Did the error last time, but getting involved in the game, and Arvan is just looking to get Swinton on this front foot.
Arvan taken down short of halfway. Holiday and Walsh involved in that tackle. Eves goes right into the hands of another interchange. Trent Kelly Duffy fresh onto the field now for the Swinton Lions. He's made it up to 35 away from the Haven line. It is the 5 and last. Comes right into the hands of Briers. Jordan Burns is going to have to come forward for this one. He collects. There does Jordan Burns. Will now try and find Broken Field, but Charlie McCurry will fetch him down, and the Whitehaven fullback will play it 21 metres away. And now into the hands of Dave Eccleston from Ellison Holgate, who got the pass quickly from the floor, diving in at the dummy half position. And Eccleston's done well there to bring it up to his 35, 36 away from his own line. Brad Brennan trying to get it many post-contact metres as possible. There is Brad Brennan. He's brought down only a few metres short of halfway. Goes left into the hands of Walker. Pops it up then to the second rower in Ben Pearce. Pearce taken down over the halfway line of Whitehaven. Holgate will look to go himself from dummy half and try and exploit some gap out there, but he's still got ball in hand as Ellison Holgate. Great running in there from the hooker. Around about 20 metres he made there. It is the 5 and last. Comes right then. Walsh with the kick, end over end. Roberts is going to be underneath it. Dave Eccleston's there as well, and they've pinned him 2 or 3 metres away from his own line. Around about half an hour gone, we'd say, here at Heywood Road. BBC Radio Cumbria Sport. Lions 12, Haven 6.
Just a real good game, isn't it now? I think both sides now have settled in there. That's the first time that Holgate's jumped from dummy half, and you know he can do that. He's got to do that more. When he takes off from dummy half, he's dangerous. And the one, I think it's a knock-on from this Swinton team, so they've got another great opportunity.
He had to check with his touch judge there, did referee Carl Hughes. He was setting the sort of defensive line, wasn't he? And then he looked up and the ball was on the floor. He got the shout from the touch judge on our near right-hand side that it was just a straight loss from Harry Hyam, and it was scrum down head and feed here to Whitehaven, and they're electing to bring the ball to the right-hand side. They're maybe going to look to go for it on play one.
Yeah, it won't surprise me there now. The difference between both sides, I think, is Whitehaven's been squeaky clean coming out their own half. You know, the last 5 or 10 minutes, the Swinton teams just pushed their arm a little bit, come up with some errors, and as you said, Whitehaven's got a great opportunity now from a scrum on this right-hand side.
Holgate goes left from the base of the scrum, then finds Luca Walsh, will then find Ben Pearce. And Pearce is going to be taken down 15-ish metres away from the Lions line here. Holgate in at dummy half, comes right into the hands of Walsh, and Walsh just looks to take that line on, does the half back. He's taken down 9 metres out. Holgate, dummy half, will go left into the hands then of Brad Brennan, and Brennan's just going to try and get as close to the try line as he can. The big man's taking up plenty of defenders. Whitehaven will try and utilise the potential space that's being left with that now. Holgate will go left into the hands then of Walker. Walker then steps up and tries to take the line on, being successful with that a few times this season as Kieran Walker, but he's taken down only inches short of the try line is the Whitehaven halfback. Comes right then into the hands then of Cole Marsh, and Marsh will now look to check the line on with the St Helens Loney. He'll try and spin out the tackle. He's going to be held up over the line. He is great defence from the Lions. A couple of tackles left in the bank here for Whitehaven. In line with the left-hand side post, 10 metres out. Holgate in there, the dummy half will come right. Then back inside to Jordan Burns from Luca Walsh. The fullback's going to be taken down. Then going to be called knock on. He's lost that in contact there as Jordan Burns. The Lions survive, and they'll take great play from that one. And it'll be a turnover ball to play the ball 10 metres away from the Lions line.
Yeah, I think Whitehaven will be disappointed with that set. I think they've done a lot of hard work to get in this field position, but you know, just that unforced error again. You've got to give Swinton loads of credit for the defensive line, loads of desperation on their own line, but they'll be disappointed with that from a Whitehaven point of view.
Tom Ratchford onto the field now for the Lions as well, and he's just scooted out the dummy half, then going to be stopped, and it's going to be a penalty here for the Lions now.
I think it's important as well. You look at Eves, the hooker for Swinton, who's come on, but you've got Tom Ratchford who's come onto the field there now. was at Wigan, and I know Tom pretty well from that, and he's dynamic from dummy half as well. He's just jumped the first time and got a penalty, so that's something that this Swinton team will try and work quite a lot.
Fetching the ball forward, Dean Meadows on that right hand side will be taken down. Ratchford in there at dummy half, comes left into the hands of Gibson. He'll just pop it up then to, is that Bobby Shingler onto the field now as well for the Lions. 29 metres out, will come left then into the hands of Kelly Duffy. Breers escapes the clutches of Luca Walsh, but then he's soon met by Cole Marsh, Brad Brennan. Walsh got re-involved alongside Ellison Holgate. Goes right into the hands of Kelly Duffy, gets right once more. Shingler's just all to keep hold of that ball, brought down by Ben Pearce. Ratchford will scoot from dummy half, goes with a couple of dummies there as Ratchford trying to get over on that right hand side. He's just going to be brought down only a metre or so away. There is Ratchford. He's the 5 and last. Gibson, Holgate is there, is he? And he's nearly just broken through there as Ellison Holgate. There'd have been green grass in front of him, but it'd been a long way for him to go. Second tackle, and Jordan Burns has been nailed from the dummy half position. It'll be Brad Brennan. He'll now try and help Whitehaven clear the lines here. He's made it to around about 12-13 metres away from his own line, into the hands then now of Dave Eccleston, and he's lost that in contact there, and it's a penalty, says referee Carl Hughes. Another let off for Whitehaven. That's 3 at least, Steve. Well, I mean, all 3 penalties have come from this very similar position.
Exactly the same position on this right hand side. It's great work from Holgate and Burns to get him on the front foot, but they are targeting this left hand side with Breers when they're coming at their own half. But as you mentioned, Jordan, it's 3 penalties they've had from the same defensive plays from the Swinton team.
Briggs will play the ball 10 short of halfway, then finds Luca Walsh. He'll find Connor Holliday, and the vice captain just going to be for Whitehaven, just going to be brought down short of that halfway line. Holgate in there at dummy half, into the middle now with Marsh, then goes into the hands then of Ben Pearce, and Pearce is put down onto his back. Holgate goes left into the hands of Kieran Walker, just had to dive forward a little bit for it there, did Kieran Walker, and Ethan Bickett is going to be taken down. 32 metres out are Whitehaven. Back towards the middle now with Cole Marsh, and Marshall fetch it towards the line and then look to take the line on. Offered it up a couple of times, but then elected to take the line on. It is the 5 and last. Holgate in there at dummy half, 25 metres out, goes left into the hands then of Walker, escapes one defender, and then Trent Kelly Duffy gets the tackle on Kieran Walker. Just grabbed at his arm at the last minute. He lost the ball there, did Walker. The Kelly Duffy's collected it. This is 0 tackle due to that knock on, and he'll play it on the 30-metre line. The line's fetching it forward.
Yeah, just the end of the sets from the Whitehaven team. I think that's been the difference so far. It's 12-6 scoreline, and the one thing that the Swinton team's had, they've had Gibson and Breers just kicking the ball really well, and it's probably been the opposite from a Whitehaven point of view. They've not been pinning this Swinton team in their own corner, and it's just letting this the Lions off the hook.
Shingler's going to be taken down just over halfway in a sort of dusty middle of the field. Comes left into the hands then of Breers. Now finds Rodden, the experienced Gav Rodden, gets the offload away to Dante Morley Samuels, and Morley Samuels will be taken down 10 over halfway, just a few metres in from this near left-hand side touchline. Into the hands now of Pat Arvan, and Arvan's nearly got through the line there, but then taken down. It is the 5 and last. Breers will dive in at dummy half. He'll go right into the hands of Gibson. Gibson will get the kick towards the corner. Jordan Burns should collect this, and he does collect it, does Jordan Burns, the Whitehaven fullback, and he'll nearly break through the line there. He has broken through the line there as Jordan Burns. Great work from the Whitehaven captain. He's brought down 35 away, and then it's going to be a penalty, and another opportunity for Whitehaven to bang this down the field. Great work there from the Whitehaven captain.
Yeah, that was outstanding. That now he had some space in front of him there, but I think he just targeted some of the big fellas from Swinton. I think it was Ratchford who just didn't get the contact on. Quite fortunate they didn't get a yellow card, a sin bin on that one there, because I think they was on the front foot, and they had a lot of space. So great work from the captain.
Holgate in there at dummy half, following the play of the ball from Brad Brennan. Holgate then looking to try and take this line on himself, sort of a mixture of a hooking and loose forward role him and Cole Marsh seem to be sharing at the moment, but he'll play this ball 20 over halfway, 30 away from the Winton line, and it's Alfie Briggs that's going to be taken down here, 20 metres out from the Swinton line now to the left hand side of the post. Holgate will go left into the hands then of Walker, and Walker looks to take the line on and find Jordan Burns, who got Whitehaven into that front foot position, but the captains and fullbacks putting the touch on that far left hand side. Great defensive work from the Lions. Whitehaven probably should have come back inside there, but they're trusting themselves to try and get themselves on the outside. It'll be a turnover ball, scrum down, head and feed to the Lions. There'll be a turnover, well actually won't it? 10 metres out here for the Lions, who elect to take it in the centre of the field by the looks of the positioning of referee Carl Hughes.
Yeah, I think it was just too easy that. I think they're just going touchline to touchline, and it just allowed the Swinton Lions just to map off. Real good line, just one line, solid blue wall. You know, maybe as you mentioned, Jordan, there's just somebody coming on the inside, just, you know, Burns just dropping an unders line, the back row or the centre dropping in inside, and just testing some of these forwards rather than just going from touchline to touchline all the time.
Adam Jones be the second tackle on this one, and he just over his own 30, back into the middle then with Trent Kelly Duffy. Kelly Duffy is going to be brought down 9 metres short of the halfway line. Couple of minutes left in this one. He's incorrectly played the ball there from Kelly Duffy, so it's going to be another opportunity for Whitehaven in the later stages of this first half, and then Anthony Muddy's just to our right hand side. He's just blew his cheeks out, and he's not happy with what he's seen from this side in the last sort of 5 or 6 minutes when Whitehaven have gifted them opportunities, Steve.
Yeah, it's just totally swapped, hasn't it, from the first 10 minutes. This was what Whitehaven was doing. You know, I complimented this Swinton team about being squeaky clean in the yardage, but they're not doing that now, and you just feel as though Whitehaven needs some points to get something in for the half-time talk.
So it's Ben Pearson, that'll be the second tackle he's brought down. 20 metres out, Brad Brennan with the first hit up. Comes right into the hands then of Walker. Walker runs across the line before finding then Cole Marsh. One of the St Helens loanees out there this afternoon. Holgate in a dummy half. Initially went right, but then turns it and goes left and putting the kick through himself is Alison Holgate. Is he going to be dealt with? He's going to be knocked dead. It's put back inside. Eventually it's going to be a goal line dropout, but Louis Roberts was trying to let it go dead, and I think then Holgate got his hand to it, and it was in a Swinton man. It's heard him, scared him in the last few minutes here with both sides knowing that trying to keep what they've got, or in Whitehaven's case trying to eradicate what Swinton's got, really important before the half-time hooter.
Yeah, I just think from a Whitehaven point of view, you want your key attacking players to have the hands on the ball all the time, and that's what Holgate's doing. He's getting more and more into this game. Burns is getting more into this game. They've got a repeat set, and really important set for both teams.
That's a great dropout from Rhys Bees. It's gone over the halfway line. It was allowed to bounce by Whitehaven, and he took a fortunate bounce in favour of the Swinton Lions. So Woodend's the man to fetch it forward. Bickerdike in there at dummy half, and he's going to be brought down 35 metres away from the Swinton try line here. Back right now into the hands of Briggs. Will then find Brad Brennan. Brennan will keep his legs pumping. Big man's taken down sort of 28 metres out. Comes right into the hands of Marsh. Marsh then runs it towards the line and then finds Conor Holiday. Holiday's nearly through the gap. Great line running there from the second Robert. He's taken down 12 metres out. Holgate in there. Goes left into the hands then of Briggs. Then finds Kieran Walker. Finds an Ethan Bickerdike. Bickerdike will look to try and step back inside. 5 and last. Comes in the hands of Brad Brennan. Can Brennan twist his way over from short range? Brad Brennan! He's got the ball down, it's Brad Brennan. His second try of the season. You don't stop Brad Brennan from there all too often. And Whitehaven now will have the opportunity just before the half-time break to make these scores level. And when they were 2-0 down after 12-0 down after 15 minutes, Dave McCormack, James Newton would have certainly taken that as the hooter sound for right-hand side.
This last 20 minutes, they bring great, Jordan. They've got the kicking game in order. I think the addition of the subs has made a real impact for this Whitehaven team. And on that occasion, it started with a great line from Conor Holiday, and it was Burns that was going on the outside, but they just hit that tight lead line. Then they went from right to left again, and as you said, you've got Brennan there, big player, made a big impact, and that's just what the doctor ordered for from a Whitehaven point of view. But Anthony Murray will be really disappointed in the last 15 minutes of this half. They've not completed the sets. They've given 3 penalties away in Whitehaven's yardage, and they've just conceded points in the last play of the game. So, you know how both coaches will have changed the half-time team talk.
Looking to like tag on the extras here is Kieran Walker, and he does, which means it scores level here at Heywood Road. BBC Radio, Cumbria Sport Online. It is now Swinton Lions 12, Whitehaven 12, and it's half time here as well in another entertaining championship clash. There's a lot said about the championship, but I'll tell you what, you don't have to get some entertaining rugby league in the championship. So it was advantage Swinton in the first sort of 15 minutes or so. Try coming in from Louis Roberts, and then Rhys Breers just put the ball down underneath the sticks. The half-back Bree is able to tag on the extras on both occasions. That was 12-0 to the Lions just before the end of the first quarter. But then Whitehaven hit back through Ellison Holgate and then Brad Brennan with Kieran Walker tagging on the extras on both occasions, which means at half-time it is Swinton 12, Whitehaven 12. Your thoughts on that first half, Steve McCormack?
Yeah, as you mentioned, the championship, we have some great games, don't we? I think it's both desperate teams here. You know, they've not started the season really well, but straight from the off, it was a Swinton team with, you know, Louis Roberts who just combined with Breers for that first try. James Newton will be really disappointed with the right-hand side defence on that occasion, but you know they managed to get across again from a Breers try just under the post. But then it's just been all Whitehaven. They've got the kicking game in order. They've gone forward really well. I think you know the forwards have come on, and I think Marsh, Brennan's made a big impact. You know this Swinton team's not quite been able to handle them. And yeah, really exciting second half in prospect. The fourth third, special guest summariser, former Whitehaven and Swinton coach Steve McCormack here at Heywood Road. An exciting championship second half in prospect here when we return at Heywood Road. But right now, we're going to leave you shortly. It is Swinton 12, Haven 12.
BBC Radio Cumbria Sport.
Welcome back here to Heywood Road. We're about to get back underway. Swinton 12, Whitehaven 12. BBC Radio Cumbria Sport, Jordan Weir and Steve McCormack, and we're back underway in the second half through the boot of Rhys Breers. Kieran Walker collects on the full, and it'll be Alfie Briggs the man to fetch it forward. The Wakefield Loanee, and he's taken down sort of 11-12 metres away from his own line. His ball in the hands now of Ethan Bickerdike. Bickerdike taken down into centre field. Goes right into the hands now of Cole Marsh, and then finds Connor Holliday on that right-hand side for Whitehaven, and he's brought up to around about 25 away from his own line, into the hands then now with Brad Brennan, just popped up by the half-back Luca Walsh, and Brennan's made it up to just over his own 30-metre line. Still a couple of tackles left in the bank here for Whitehaven, and it comes across left into the hands of Ben Pearce, and Pearce is going to take himself to just over the 40-metre line on the 5 and last. Comes short down this left-hand side. Walker will get the kick in, and it'll bounce, and is it just going to find touch? Roberts will just stay in the field of play with it, collected around about 10 metres away from his own line. He's met there by Alfie Briggs. Ben Pearce gets involved as well alongside Cole Marsh, and it means Lions will play this sort of 12-13 away from their own line. Van now the man to fetch it forward. The winger tries to twist out of his twist out to the tackle. He's now taken down 29 metres out. Coming to the middle now are the Lions. Ratchford comes right and taken down. Will the Lions man? No, he can't get into the ground. Can Ethan Bickerdike and Ben Pearce. Gibson now gets it into the middle again once more with Trent Kelly Duffy, and Kelly Duffy's taken down short of halfway, middle of the field on the 5 and last, goes left into the hands of Breeze, and Breeze will get the kick in. It's a spiral kick, sort of done Dave Axton a little bit in the air, it seems like. He bounced and he collected it 10 away from his own line, and he'll then fetch it up to 20 away from his own line in a steady start to the second half, Steve. Yeah, both sides just doing the basics really well. I think that would have been the call from Anthony Murray and James Newton. They've got to complete the sets in the yardage and get the kick away, kick long and chase hard, and both teams have done that early on. Bickerdike now the man to fetch it forward for Whitehaven. Cole Marshall lying waiting there at dummy half. Will go right then into the hands of Kieran Walker. Walker then just pops it up to Brad Brennan, and he's going to keep his legs pumping. Is Brad Brennan, tries to get that offload away, and he's lost it there. There's Brad Brennan. He likes to get that offload away. He's got it in his game, but sometimes just makes that wrong decision. Does Brad Brennan. Celebrated his 250th career appearance last week, but has lost the ball there. It'll be scrummed down head and feet to the Lions just over halfway centre field. Yeah, I don't think that'll be in his 250 game highlight reel. I think, as you mentioned there now, just, you know, an arm wrestle, kicking well, doing the yardage well, doing the basics well, and it was never on. It was never on there, and it's just give Swinton good field position, halfway line, and a good opportunity to put this Whitehaven team under pressure. Adam Jones will be the man that's going to be taken down. Ratchford dummies left, goes right, then finds Dean Meadows, and Meadows wrapped up. Kieran Walker, Ethan Bickerdike and Ben Pearce all involved for Whitehaven as Ratchford lies in wait at dummy half, 30 metres out, finds Gibson. Gibson just pops it up to himself, then finds Rhys Breers, then finds Louis Roberts, who saw his speed in the first half. He's going to be taken down. Luca Walsh, 6 again in favour of the Lions on that side, however. So the Lions have a fresh set of 6 here. An opportunity for them maybe to try and take the advantage once again in the early stages, but it's going to be a knock on there. I don't think it was Ratchford that knocked on a dummy half. I think it was the man who played the ball. Is it McCurry potentially out there that was playing the ball? Struggled to see for our position. Maybe it was McCurry or Shingler instead. It's Gav Rodden. You don't expect a mistake like that from Gav Rodden, but it will be a turnover ball here for Whitehaven.
Yeah, one of the most experienced players, isn't he, on the field? It is Rodden. He'll be disappointed with that, but you know, it's back to this basics again there. And I'm sure that that James would have got this message on. They've got to complete this set, you know, push hard and play nice and flat, nice and fast, and just get this kick as far down the field as they possibly can.
Alison Holgate scooted from dummy half and has made sort of 10-11 metres before being taken down as the hooker. Marsh in there at dummy half now, and then finds Brad Brennan. Yet again makes a few post-contact metres as Brennan, but he'll play it 10 short of halfway. Comes into the hands of Walker. Walker then searching for his options. His option there was Ben Pearce, and he's taking it over the halfway line. Holgate once again goes from dummy half, finds Kieran Walker again on this occasion. He won't be too happy with that, will Kieran Walker, and it is going to be the 5 and last, and he's got something to say to the Swinton defenders in front of him. Dean Meadows is the one he's unhappy with. The kick does come away from Luca Walsh, and it's going to be Roberts that gets himself underneath it, and he's met there by 2 Whitehaven defenders, Ben Pearce and Alfie Briggs.
And they're just targeting this left-hand side, aren't they? They've every kick they've put in from a long kick has been to Roberts' right. So it's obviously a tactic, and they've seen a bit of a weakness in that, but so far Roberts has been able to handle everything what's been thrown at him. Morley
Samuels the man to fetch it forward. The former North Wales Crusader will play this when he gets up, 30 away from his own line. Ratchford goes left into the hands of Pat Arvan. A real asset to have when he can fetch the ball forward like that, Pat Arvan. Shingler now the man to fetch it forward for Anthony Murray's Swinton Lions, and he'll play this on halfway, exactly on the 5 and last. Gibson will get the kick up in the air. Seth Woodendell settling himself up underneath it with the Barrow Raiders low knee for Whitehaven. Collected it 10 away from his own line, and he's now brought it forward, put down onto his back, 20 metres away from his own line. Jordan Burns will dive in at dummy half. Ethan Biggerdike now will be the man to fetch it forward. Burns will lay in wait at dummy half, 25 away from his own line. Goes right towards the middle then with the centre Mitchell Todd. Put down onto his back is Todd, and Holgate will now have the option from dummy half. He'll go right into the hands of Lewis Brown, fresh onto the field at the start of the second half. Lewis Brown, 9 short of halfway as he's taken down. Holgate, he wanted to go right, then wanted to go left, and then escaped the clutches of the defender, and still making 10 metres there as Ellison Holgate on what is now the 5 and last. Goes right into the hands of Luca Walsh, and Walsh does get the kick away under a little bit of pressure. Roberts underneath it again once more, and now find Harry Hyam 11 metres away from his own line, and Hyam trying to find a gap in the Whitehaven defence, but he's going to be taken down. Ben Pearce 22 metres away from his own line he will be when he plays the ball, and just a little bit of needle coming at this one stage.
Yeah, it was a good carry there from Hyam as well, but Pearce there just did that extra effort there just to slow him down. And not one thing what Harry Hyam's really good at is finding the flow, playing the ball really quickly, and that enables this Swinton team to get on the front foot. But Pearce done a real good job on him then, and it's just restricting this Swinton team to not many metres.
Arvan through the middle again once more. Arvan's going to be taken down 9 metres out, so in the centre of the field, and Ratchford will look to go from dummy half before going left and finding Roberts, and Roberts is going to break down the middle of the field. Jordan Burns is in there trying to fetch him down. That ball surely forward, was called forward, and he's got him as well there as Jordan Burns, and Roberts is down. He's just given the forward pass at the moment as referee Carl Hughes. Be interesting to see if any of the judges have anything to say, or has he just caught him exactly at the right time there as the Whitehaven captain.
Yeah, I'm not sure there was much in that as well. Fingers crossed Roberts is good, but I think that's where Swinton's at the most dangerous, that Jordan. I think sometimes they go wide very, very early, but on that occasion they've just gone right up the middle, they've gone behind the markers and behind the A defender, and when you've got players like Hyam and Arvan, and then you've got your hookers in there, and you've got somebody like Roberts who's got blistering pace, I think that's the way to go if I was a Swinton coach.
He's up and gets the OK, does Louis Roberts. So it is going to be Whitehaven ball, and it'll just be to play the ball for the forward pass. So nothing too much in that one, says referee Carl Hughes. And like you said, Steve, you didn't think there was too much in it, just a perfectly timed tackle from Jordan Burns, it seems.
And it was much needed, wasn't it? Because he was under pressure there. I think one thing what was really impressive then from the Whitehaven, the scramble defence. You know, Jordan Burns had Roberts going at him, but there was also 3 or 4 Whitehaven defenders in the picture, so James Newton will be really pleased with that.
Ball comes from the base of the scrum and finds Ethan Bickerdike, and Bickerdike will find 2 or 3 metres forward there, made more metres horizontally than forward there, just trying to find a gap in the Swinton defence there, did the Whitehaven centre. Ben Pearce is going to be pushed back a metre or 2 there as well, and he'll play the ball. Horgate in there at dummy half into the middle then with Lewis Brown. Spent time in this part of the world as a youngster, as part of the academy at the Salford Red Devils. Into the hands then of Alfie Briggs. Goes right, does Holgate. Find Cole Marsh over the halfway line now before finding Walsh. The Saints duo connecting there. Before got the ball right to Mitchell Todd, and he's going to be picked up and put down. Is Todd. 5 and last here, just over halfway. Comes into the hands of Walker. A little bit of pressure on Walker, but he's able to get that kick away. Hyam sets himself underneath it, 20 metres away from his own line, but yet again good defensive line speed from Whitehaven means he can only find 2 or 3 metres before being wrapped up. Combination of Briggs and Ben Pearce. And it's Jones now that's going to be taken down, but the Whitehaven man gone down there. It's Lewis Brown. Tries to go and get his position within the defensive line. Just looks like he's caught a knock on the back of his head as Lewis Brown. That ball's come out and give himself up there to the Whitehaven man. Just sort of put my hands up in the air going, I didn't touch it, sir, which is normally indicated that he ripped it, Steve McCormack.
Yeah, he 100% give himself up there now, and you know that's disappointing, because I just felt as though, you know, Whitehaven were just getting some good field position there now. It was Hyam that took the kick as well, and you know, as he's done all game, he took the ball really, really well, but you know, just giving up and giving stupid penalties away. You know, Breers has just kicked the ball over the halfway line. Swinton's got the ball 60 metres out or 40 metres out, and they've got a good chance again to put some points on the board.
Jones takes the top and then finds Dean Meadows. Hit there. Pearce and Briggs. Rashford goes left into the hands of a Kelly Duffy. Kelly Duffy's taken down. Brown involved in that tackle alongside Briggs again as well. Goes left into the hands of Breers. Breers then pops it up. Finds Charlie McCurry. Taken down. Lions knocking on the door here, still in these early stages of the first half. Comes right then to Gibson, then finds Meadows. Meadows looks to step back inside, and he's going to be taken down. There is Meadows within 10 metres, within 6 or 7 metres here. Rashford goes left and finds Kelly Duffy, and he's broken through there. Poor defence in from Whitehaven, and able to put the ball down is Trent Kelly Duffy's 3rd try of the season for Anthony Murray's side, and they retake the lead here at Heywood Road to Swinton. It's now Swinton 16, Whitehaven 12, shortly should be 18-12 to the Lions.
Yeah, and I know we mentioned about the way to get this Whitehaven team. I felt as though it was in the middle, and on that occasion they've actually tested the inside shoulders, and they've put a drop-off ball prior to Duffy taking that, and it was just a real good footwork close to the line, but from a Whitehaven point of view, they'll be disappointed. You know, again, somebody flying out the line, just that footwork on, planting the feet, and it's probably well deserved from a Swinton point of view, but they've definitely decided to go up the middle and test this middle unit of this Whitehaven team.
Of course, a side that their coach does know very well, having been the coach of them at the start of the season, so he'll know their strengths and weaknesses, Steve.
100%. I think there's a lot to be said about that, but there's also a lot to be said about not giving penalties away in yardage as well. So, you know, Whitehaven were doing really, really well, but gave a penalty away and just gifted Swinton some field position. And we saw in the first half, if they do that, they've got some players that can capitalise on it.
Definitely saw that in the first quarter of this contest here at Heywood Road, as Reece Breers tags on the edges to re-establish a 6-point lead for Anthony Murray's Swinton Lions. BBC Radio, Cumbria Sport online. You join us via the BBC Sport app, website, and your smart speakers. Of course, this afternoon, Jordan Weir joined by the former Haven and Lions coach Steve McCormack. Championship Rugby League brought to you by BBC Radio, Cumbria Sport, and it will be Jordan Burns will put the ball down on the kicking tee, and Whitehaven trying to get back in this one, as they had to do at the latter stages of the first half. But Burns comes in with a kick-off now. Is that going to bounce? It isn't. It'll go right into the hands of Jordy Gibson and fetch it forward. Will the Lions again once more, and stopped sort of 22 metres away from their own line. Ratchford goes in towards the middle to try and score to Kelly Duffy, the man to fetch it forward. taken down, stopped. 20 short of halfway in at centre field. Ratchford goes left again once more into the hands of Gavrodden. Stopped by the Whitehaven defence on the right-hand side edge. Kelly Duffy again once more for his second carry in this set, trying to help his side forward. Marsh, Briggs and Walsh, all the loanees for Whitehaven involved in that tackle. Into the hands of McCuddy. McCuddy's now nearly broken through. It's just some last gasp grabs from Ellison Holgate and Connor Holliday that's able to fetch him down. It's on the 5 and last now. Breers gets that kick in. Jordan Burns sets himself, jumps and takes that one, but he's met straight away by the Swinton defence. The Whitehaven players calling for a tackle in the air on Jordan Burns. Referee Carl Hughes says no, and they've got the hard yards to do with the Cumbrians to fetch his ball forward.
Yeah, I think it's a crucial time of the game this now for Whitehaven. I think they're looking very tired. They need a penalty, they need a good carry from backfield. They need something just to get that momentum on their side.
Walker in there, the dummy half as Woodend plays the ball. Comes into the hands then now of Lewis Brown. Brown will find his front. Holgate lies in wait at dummy half. Goes into the middle with Luca Walsh. Potentially looking for a 40-20 here. If he can get the angle on it, Luca Walsh has got the angle on it. And that is a pin-perfect kick from Luca Walsh. It just held up. It just bounced and then took the bounce that it needed. That is the something that Whitehaven needed, Steve McCormack.
Well, when you say change momentum, that does it. I didn't mention that, did I? I mentioned everything else bar 40-20, but that was superb. That now it's Whitehaven's right on the 10-metre line, great field position, and when you want a player to step up, that's what you want him to do. That's superb play.
So Lewis Brown will be the man to fetch it forward here for Whitehaven. They started 10 metres out. That's how good the kick was there from Luca Walsh. It'll come left into the hands of Walker. Now finds Jordan Burns, and Burns will try and take that line on with the Whitehaven captain. Brought down 3-4 metres out. Bickerdike in there. Dummy half goes right into the hands then of Kieran Walker. Just slowed down just a little bit now into the hands of Cole Marsh. Holgate, dummy half. Wanted to go left, gone right into the hands then of Briggs. And Briggs then, is he going to be just held up? Is he going to be over the line? He is. So he'll have an opportunity to come back to 10 metres out and just have a little bit of space to play in here. Will Whitehaven. Just to the right-hand side of the post. Holgate in at dummy half, comes left into the hands then of Marsh. Then finds Walker over the top then, looking for Seth Woodend and couldn't collect it cleanly. Could Seth Woodend, and balls hit the floor. And James Newton to our left-hand side just throws his hands up in the air and going, what was that?
Yeah, I don't blame him either. I think I'd be really disappointed with that. I think the one thing that they're struggling with Whitehaven, it's just the combinations, and that might be because they've not played with each other that long, but they've got Holgate, they've got Marsh, they've got the half-backs, and they're not combining well. They did an outstanding kick to get that field position, but whereas Swinton look very slick when they're in the opposition's goal line, Whitehaven are just struggling with that at the moment.
Ball's hitting the floor, however. Calls of a forward pass initially to Louis Roberts, but it doesn't matter because he couldn't take it cleanly. And now another opportunity for Whitehaven to try and get back on the front foot. Last 2 or 3 minutes, Steve, similar to what we saw at the end of the first half, and we saw how that ended up for Whitehaven getting the try just before the hooter.
Yeah, I think from a Whitehaven point of view, James will just be saying just simplify things. What they did really well in the first half was they got the ball to the midfield of 50, split the half-backs, and then Burns was just coming late on the line. And the one thing that they've got, Whitehaven, is 2 back rows that run really good lead lines, and that enables the the half-backs to work and the full-back to link in. So I think if Whitehaven can do that, they can get some points.
Ball comes few pairs of hands from that scrum. They did take it to the far right-hand side. Jordan Burns will then get the offload away to Woodend, so they've gone coast to coast here of Whitehaven. 20 metres out now as they are. Bickerdike's brought down. Goes right into the hands then of Walker. Finds Alfie Briggs, and Briggs is taken down. 18 metres out. Holgate in there at dummy half. Scoots and goes right. Now into the hands then of Walsh, and Walsh will just pop it up to Connor Holliday, and Holliday tries to get that arm free, but elects to keep hold of it. And the Whitehaven vice-captains stopped sort of 5-6 metres out. Holgate's wanting to go down that short right-hand side. And then is taken down. A couple of tackles left here for Whitehaven. Walsh, the half-back, will go in at dummy half. Goes left and down to Connor Holliday. At the bend his back for that one, did Connor Holliday, and he's going to be held up over the line as he is.
That's good defence as well, though, isn't it? You're looking at that, they must be tired. They've had a couple of repeat sets, goal line defence, but it was great work that, just not getting not letting the Whitehaven player over the line.
Into the hands of Luca Walsh, and Walsh is then going to be taken down. That was the 5 and last. I couldn't see, just our view was obscured, but it's the 5 and last. Yet again, not the best final play option, but I said in the first half, Steve, it's also not the worst place to turn the ball over.
This is where you want your opposition to be now. They can tighten the line up. Whitehaven can tighten the line up. They can get off the line. They could slowly play the ball down, get numbers in like they are doing now, driving him back, and they take some big carries from this Swinton team to get him out of here.
Arvan now trying to fetch his side forward, and don't stop Pat Arvan, and he's done really well to get himself over his own 10-metre line there. There's Pat Arvan, and it's now the centre Jones, but Bickerdike's going to push him back. Marsh and Walker all involved there. Still short of their own 20 here, and it's Arvan again, having to do the hard yards, and there we go. He's then hit the tackle, and then he's fourth tackle. The Lions are 22 away from their own line. Are they going to go for the early kick? They certainly are. Through the boot to Geordie Gibson, and it's found the gap between Burns and Eccleston, so it means Jordan Burns, who's then had to knock it back towards his own line, is fetching this 5 metres away from his own line. Great vision there from Geordie Gibson to go that tackle earlier, realising Whitehaven weren't set, and then now starting 22 away from their own line.
Real smart play. We're talking about momentum changes again there. They've not waited for the fifth tackle there. It was a quick play of the ball, double carry from Arvan, and then it just split the winger and the full back and just put this Whitehaven team back under pressure.
Will be second tackle on Whitehaven into the hands of Ben Pearson. He'll be third when he's taken down. Holgate in there at dummy half, a couple of metres short of the halfway line. Lewis Brown will take Haven over that halfway line, spins out of the initial contact as Brown, and then has got up to the Lions 40. Holgate, dummy half, will go right into the middle then with Cole Marsh, out the back then to Luca Walsh, out the back to Burns, then finds Dave Eccleston, calls for a forward pass, but Eccleston steps back inside. 5 and last, 22 metres out, 10 in from the far touchline. Walsh gets the kick in. It's going to go end over end. Ben Pearce knocks it backwards into the hands on a piece again once more. He's been called a knock on, and it'll just be a turnover ball. Calls for Ben Pearce being offside. He hasn't given that. He's given that he hasn't taken the kick clean.
Yeah, I think it's another bit of a scruffy set again. That, I think just like to see the Whitehaven halfbacks combine a little bit more. I think the back end to the set there now, you want to kick it right in the corner, onside chase, but just far too easy for this Swinton team to get that ball.
Fetching the ball forward is Shingler, gets the offload away into the hands then of Harry Hyam, and Hyam is trying to escape the clutches of the defence, but he can do. Ben Pearce again once involved in another defensive effort alongside Alfred Briggs. Them two's combined quite a bit in defence this afternoon. Martian involved in this tackle on Kelly Duffy. It is Kelly Duffy, he'll get up and play the ball. Josh Eves back out there now for the Lions. Whitehaven man down in back play. Looks to be Lewis Brown potentially from here. Breers takes the hit up and is taken down. He's the halfback on the 5 and last. 40 metres out from the Whitehaven line. It comes right into the hands of Gibson. Gibson gets the kick away. Jordan Burns follows it all the way and then collects 10 away from his own line, and just able to escape the clutches of Rodden, but went right in to Dante Morley-Samuels, and now it's going to be Whitehaven to try and get back on the front foot as Luke Wall scoots from dummy half. Lewis Brown seems to have got the okay from back play. Jack Keller is getting ready to come back onto the pitch as far side, as is Alfie Sinclair. He'll replace Cole Marsh, and then Lewis Brown, who's been taken from the field around the halfway line, but not with a HIA, just with a clean substitution for Whitehaven. Into the hands now of Dave Eccleston, and Eccleston will keep his legs pumping before having his leg picked up and then being put down onto the floor. Able to spin round onto his front, comes into the hands of Kieran Walker now. Walker's then going to be taken down. It's the 5 and last, only a few metres short of the halfway line. Holgate's in there at dummy half, goes right, puts a big kick up in the air, but it doesn't find too many metres forward. It bounces, sort of sliced off the foot there of Luca Walsh, and it's gone out on the far touchline, the near touchline if you're looking on the camera, and it is going to be a scrum down, or just play the ball 10 short of halfway.
Yeah, you've got to credit Trent Kelly-Duffy for that. The kick pressure that he's put on. He's been great with the ball, causing loads of damage, getting up the middle of the park, but on that occasion he just put some kick pressure on, and that's the difference between getting the ball in your own line, defending your own line, or getting it on the halfway line, and big credit for that.
Jordan Brown back out to the field now for the Lions. Anthony Muddy started to make some interchanges as we have headed in, I believe, into the final quarter. It's Gav Rodden now on that far left-hand side. The Lions are 35 metres away from the Whitehaven line. Eves in there at dummy half, back into the middle with Brown, and Brown was searching for an option on his right-hand side, but elected to take the line on himself. 30 metres out in at centre field. Will come right then into the hands of Geordie Gibson before finding Dean Meadows. Found 10 metres there of Lions, a little bit more now, around about 16, 17 metres out, and what is the 5 and last comes down this right hand side into the hands of Gibson. Gibson puts a little kick on the back on the inside, and it's Trent Kelly-Duffy there for what will be his second of the afternoon. There was no one there at the middle of the field, and Gibson had the vision just to kick the ball, the little kick on the back on the inside. It bounced perfectly into the hands of Trent Kelly-Duffy, and this now should be the opportunity for the Lions to re-establish that 12-point lead they had at a similar point in the first half, Steve McCormack.
Well, we mentioned Trent Kelly-Duffy doing the little things that was mentioned right at the beginning of the game, putting that kick pressure on, and then Whitehaven skewed the kick, and then Swinton got the ball on the halfway line, and it was great play. I think that's straight from the training ground. That I think they've got a really smart coach in Anthony Murray. I think they took that ball there, and certainly it was what they call a banana kick. It went to from left to right, but it was a right-footed kick. And to be fair, the Whitehaven team didn't see that. Somebody didn't track back or track across. Normally, either your hooker, that Ellison Holgate did that in the first half quite a bit, or your opposite half-back. But that's straight from the training ground, and all credit to this Swinton team.
There'll be an opportunity now for Reece Bees to try and tag on the extras, and if he can the Lions half-back, it will be back to that 12-point advantage. And James Newton will find it so disappointing. They worked so hard to get back into the contest in the latter stages of that second half, Steve, and they're just not being able to maintain it in the second half, and they've gifted a couple of opportunities, haven't they, to Swinton, and they've taken it.
They have, and if you think 10 minutes ago they had a double set on the Swinton line and couldn't find any points, and they looked a little bit disjointed, and that's where James were really disappointed, because they'd done all the hard work to get that field position. Great 40-20. They've given a couple of penalties away, a couple of errors, and then Swinton, to be fair to him, stayed in that arm wrestle and just showed the quality up at this end of the field.
Briers has tagged on the extras, so BBC Radio Cumbria Sport, it is Swinton 24, Whitehaven 12, and Whitehaven are going to have to do what they did in the first half if they're to get anything from this contest here at Heywood Road this afternoon. It is Swinton Lions 24, Whitehaven 12. Does Jordan Burns maybe attempt to go short here, though? The way the Whitehaven are set up, I don't think so. And the fullback will come in now, and he'll look to get it long. It'll bounce into the hands of Geordie Gibson, and the Lions will once again fetch it forward off the back line. Biggerdike involved in that tackle, as is Ben Pearce, Kieran Walker all involved as well. 15 or so away from their own line, and Harry Hyam will try and take it forward here. Alfie Sinclair and Jack Kellett involved. Gibson goes left, back in towards the middle then, with Kelly-Duffy, double try scorer this afternoon. Kelly-Duffy potentially giving the Lions the 2 points with his 2 tries. Eves goes left, finds Briers, pops it up to Morley Samuels, and Morley Samuels eventually taken down. Still a couple of tackles left in the bank here for the Lions, sort of 15 short of halfway, and nearly through the line there again. It is now going to be the 5 and last. It was Gav Rodden that was just pulled down at the last moment, comes into the hands of Geordie Gibson. Gibson gets the kick away. It's going to be behind Jordan Burns. It'll bounce and it'll bounce and it'll bounce and it'll roll and it'll roll and it'll roll. It goes tap 20 in a 7 tackle set, and Dave Eccleston will look to take the quick tap, but the Lions have got the opportunity to get their defensive line set, so Eccleston's brought down 30 away from his own line.
Yeah, I think the key to it, there's still plenty of time for Whitehaven to get back into this game. 2 tries. They just need to get back to what they did the last 15 minutes of that second half, where they went forward. They was really direct. I thought the subs came on and made a big impact, and if they can do that and get some field position, then they're still in with a chance.
Well, Alfie Sinclair's come back on from the bench, and he's trying to lead Whitehaven forward there, but goes right into the hands of Keller over the halfway line, now into the hands of Walsh, then finds Jordan Burns, look to step back inside with the fullback, but he's taken down to the floor, 40 metres away from the Lions line, coming back towards the centre of the field now, and it's in the hands of the loose forward Jack Kellett. Kellett finds his front, just slowed down a little bit there, he's Kellett, by the Swinton defensive effort, as Luca Walsh is not going to get caught with ball in hand. He's trying to get his arm free, and it's now the 5 and last, so 32 metres out, comes into the middle there where Kieran Walker is. He'll get the kick away, kick towards the corner, and Harry Hyam just got there Had to find plenty of yardage there, did Harry Hyam, and Ben Pearce was on the chase if he couldn't collect it. Done well, the winger, to sort of recognise that and get back into position.
Yeah, and they've got the offload out there, Swinton there, and that's something that Whitehaven's got to sort out again. It was a good kick, the 10 metres away from the Swinton try line, and they've just got the offload away, and it's just easy metres from Swinton.
Rodden now the man to fetch it forward. 30 away from his own line. Eves back in there at dummy half. Comes across then to Jordan Brown again once more. He's found 10 metres and brought down 10 short of halfway. Comes down this short right hand side with Gibson. Gibson then with a dummy, then going down, and Ben Pearce is going to be on the chest. Then there's Josh Eves, he's got the ball away too. Then going to be taken down, and it's now going to be the 5 and last. Eves plays the ball 18 metres out. Whitehaven scramble in to get back. Ball in the hand of Reece Breers. It's gone out to that far left hand side, and Pat Arvan will be in that left hand side corner. And that should be all she wrote in game, set and match to the Lions here at Heywood Road. And that all comes to the breakdown the right hand side initially through Jordan Gibson. Fantastic work, then able to get the ball to the left hand side. And Pat Arvan in that left hand side corner. It's his first try for the Swinton Lions in just his second Lions of the appearance. He scored against Whitehaven for North Wales earlier in the campaign. Swinton Lions 28, Whitehaven 12. And it'll be a long way back for James Newton's side now.
Yeah, you'd think so, wouldn't you, Jordan? I think, they've just gone down the middle again, and that's where they've got him in the early part of this second half. And because of that break, I think it was Dave Eccleston that sprinted back as well and helped Jordan Burns with the initial break. But obviously that's left the right side really short. But just quality play there from Ives and Gibson, and then obviously you've got somebody like Pat Arvan who's just hugged his touchline on that left hand side and gone over, which you'd think would be the match-winning try.
Be disappointed with that, but Whitehaven, they'll have wanted to come down here this afternoon and try and get back on track and get a victory against a side that obviously were in the same league as them and back in League One last season. But we said in the build to this game's really different to what it was sort of 4 weeks ago. Anthony Murray's been able to take advantage of sort of the loss of North Wales and their players. He's picked a few up here. He's brought Georgie Gibson back. He's brought in the likes of Pat Arvan. They've combined there to get their 5th try of the afternoon.
Yeah, to be fair to Anthony, they look a really good side, don't they? Certainly when they've got the ball there, and I think they've certainly changed it in the second half as well. I think they've obviously gone down this middle a little bit. They've identified that some of the Whitehaven players have done a lot of defending, looking pretty tired.
He's missed
the kick, and they're doing a lot of inside balls. They're doing some of the quick fellas, some of the back three. Louis Roberts, Duffy, they're just going up that middle, and Whitehaven haven't quite handled that.
So Whitehaven will come up and try to get the game back underway, but as we said, it's a long way back now. It's 3 scores if Whitehaven had to get anything from this contest here in Greater Manchester. BBC Radio Cumbria Sport, Lions 28, Haven 12. They've attempted to go short, and it's right into the hands of Adam Jones. Not enough height on that for Whitehaven to put too much of a challenge in. And the Lions now, it's just got to be simple game management, simple rugby league, Steve.
Yeah, I think it will be. I don't think you'll see many offloads, but I think Anthony will want more. I think the way they've done this, I think he wants to put the foot on the throat, so to speak, there now. And as you said, you see the little tip-ons there.
In the middle again. They get the ball into Louis Roberts, and Louis Roberts is going to put the ball down underneath the sticks. It's back-to-back tries for the Swinton Lions, and if it wasn't game, set and match before, it certainly is now for the Swinton Lions. They'll pick up the 2 points, and Anthony Murray will get the victory against his former side. And once again, it's come down the middle of the field. It's been Whitehaven's undoing all afternoon, and Swinton are on the front foot. They'll pick up the 2 points here at Heywood Road. It's currently Swinton 32, it's Whitehaven 12.
Well, I think you mentioned about him just, the ball up the jump and play safe, but that's not how Anthony plays.
It's moved, hasn't it?
No, and what they've done, they've had the 3 middles combined there now. It was a little tip-on in that ruck, and they've gone straight through that middle, straight through the ruck, looking very, very tired, this Whitehaven team, quite disjointed defensively. And then that man, Roberts, who's quality fullback, really good young player, got some good habits from where he's played previously, and gone straight under the post. And Whitehaven will be really disappointed, because one thing they've not done is they've thrown the towel in, and I don't think they have done now, but this last 15 minutes has just been outplayed.
And Breeze tags on the extras from right in front. So it is now Swinton Lions 34, Whitehaven 12. And Brad Bredden reintroduced, but too little too late if you're a Whitehaven persuasion. They've been able to take full advantage in this second half of the Lions squad, and so far 4 unanswered tries. 2 of them coming from Trent Kelly-Duffy, then back-to-back tries from breaks. Allow Pat Arvan in that left-hand side corner, then Roberts to go in underneath the sticks for his second of the afternoon. Whitehaven do go short once more. Jones will knock it backwards on that occasion. More of a challenge on that occasion, but Lions do come up the bill with the ball, and it's a 2-try scorer, Kelly-Duffy, that dived on that ball with Meadows. Now the man to fetch it forward. And it's Sinclair and Pearce. Pickerdike all involved in that tackle. Eves in there at dummy half. Into the hands then of Killen. Back onto the field for the Lions now as well. Centre field, 5 metres short of halfway. Eves will go left into the hands of Breeze. Will just pop it up into the hands of Gav Rodden. Over the halfway line now are the Lions. He's got to go back and play a metre or two there as Gav Rodden. Comes right then into the hands of Kelly-Duffy and will fetch it forward. He's got through a lot of work as Trent Kelly-Duffy. It is now the 5 and last. He's 38 metres out from the Whitehaven line. Eves in there at dummy half, comes right into the hands of Gibson, and Gibson just drilling that ball into the floor. Doesn't go over the head of Seth Woodend, but he's close to the touchline, and they're going to drag him over the touchline. Fantastic defence there from the Swinton Lions. You've mentioned there the smell blood. They want more from this game to this Swinton side. They know they're going to get back-to-back wins under Anthony Murray. Picked his first his victory up last time out here against the Midlands Hurricanes, and he's going to get an opportunity now to go 2 from 2. Is Anthony Murray, and they'll have the ball back. It'll be a play the ball on the 10-metre line. Lions firmly on the front foot.
Yeah, you've got to fancy him for scoring some more points, haven't you, Jordan? I think, you know, all credit to this Swinton team. They've just stepped it up. They've just found another gear. I think both half-backs have got their hands on the ball and created options. I think the forwards have gone through the middle in numbers, flat, they're fast, they're passing the ball quickly, they're turning the ball inside. You know, Rhys Breers is putting the little drop-offs, and it's just the momentum. You know, the amount of defending this Whitehaven middle unit have had to do this last 20 minutes has been unbelievable, and Swinton are getting the benefits from that.
They certainly are. It's an opportunity for Lions to try and put some more points on the board here. Eves will come right from the Kelly-Duffy play the ball, and it's Killing the man to take it towards the try line. Eves lies in wait at dummy half, just 2 metres out, goes left into the hands of Jordy Gibson. Ball hits the floor, comes off the hand of Connor Holliday, so it will be a scrum down head and feed to the Lions, and there'll be another opportunity to them to continue knocking on the door here for Anthony Murray's side.
Yeah, the one thing that this Whitehaven team needs to do, I think, if you think about 3 of the tries that Swinton's got, they've been virtually walkovers on the goal line. It was Breers in the first half, and then Duffy's got a couple where they've just walked through them, really. So one thing that they need to do, they need to finish the game strong and show some good desperation in their own goal line D, and hopefully keep Swinton to the points they've already got.
They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. Ball comes through a couple of pairs of hands, and Louis Roberts find the gap. The cross for his hat-trick is the young fullback on this right-hand side. It's their 7th try of the afternoon. It's now Swinton 38, Whitehaven 12. And how many tries? Well, that's 3 tries in the last 10 minutes or so here at Heywood Road, just completely taking the contest away from Whitehaven to the point where it's no longer a contest anymore. Roberts in for what will be his hat-trick, of course, and his 6th try of the season. He's doubled his try tally for the season this afternoon as the pacey fullback, and Rhys Breers will now have an opportunity to take the Lions on to the 40-point mark here at Heywood Road. Lions 38, Haven 12.
Well, we didn't see this at half-time, did we? You know, I thought the way that Haven ended the first half, I thought was real good. I think it was positive. You know, and you felt as though they would come out in the second half, which they did do, and cause this Swinton team some problems. But all the credit needs to go to Anthony and his team here. I think you mentioned that player Louis Roberts there now. He's done really well up the middle, but you know, in the first half he scored the first try off Lee Breers, off Breers, not Lee Breers, off Breers, and then on that occasion now he's just burnt the Haven defensive line.
Rhys Breers will look to line up this conversion. It's gone over. from Reece Briers. The 40-point markup is up for the Lions. It's Swinton Lions 40. It's Whitehaven 12. BBC Radio, Cumbria Sport Online, and Whitehaven will be going back, having been tamed by the Lions, and they'll make that journey back to West Cumbria. A week off next week, probably a week off needed for Whitehaven. Obviously lost plenty of players in the last few weeks and missing a few with injuries at the moment as well, but James Newton won't use that as an excuse. He'll have felt his side can come down here and do a job this afternoon. Jordan Burns with the kick-off found the touchline. Anthony Murray definitely won't be happy with that one, and he'll have an opportunity for Whitehaven in these latter stages here at Heywood Road to try and reduce the deficit and make that scoreline look a little bit more respectable.
Just need to finish on a positive, don't they? I think you know, they've had lots of good things in this game, Whitehaven, but this last 20 minutes it's been a barrage of points and quality work from Swinton, but you know, James and the team need to finish on a positive.
Jack Keller here with ball in hand, then comes across just a little pop-up pass to Ben Pearce, and he's going to be taken down within 2 metres of the line to the left-hand side of the post. Holgate's in there at dummy half. He'll look to pop it up to Brad Brennan. They knew what was coming there. I'm not surprised Anthony Murray probably come up with that play last season. They knew exactly what was coming with Brad Brennan. Ball goes right into the hands then of Luca Walsh. Walsh looks to put the kick in behind. Can the Whitehaven man get there? He's just going to be knocked dead by Pat Arvan, and it will be the goal line dropout. Yeah, it's been so successful for that. More last season, and a couple of times this season, Brad Brennan trying to crash over from short range. But like you said, Anthony Murray knows exactly what's in the Whitehaven playbook when that comes along, and his side would expect that would able to fetch him down. But on the next play, Haven's forced the goal line dropout, and the Lions will look to put the ball down the field. Briers, it bounces just in front of Jordan Burns, exactly 40 metres out, and Brad Brennan will now be the man to fetch it forward here, and he's taken Whitehaven over the Lions 30. Briers will go and dive in at dummy half. Comes left then into the hands of Alfie Sinclair. 20 metres out now of Whitehaven in that centre field. Holgate line in weight at dummy half. Will come left into the hands of Walker, into the hands now of Burns, and Burns is then trying to get through on this left hand side, but the fullback is just going to be taken down 5-6 metres out from the Swinton line. 5 in from this left hand side touchline. Bickerdike comes wide right back towards the middle then with Kieran Walker before pops it up to Alfie Sinclair. 9 metres out now of Whitehaven, still left of the posts. Back towards the middle now with Walker, and Walker will run across the line before then coming out the back and trying to, it is collected by Connor Holliday, one-handed. He's done well to keep hold of it there as the Whitehaven vice-captain, but it is now the 5 and last. Holgate didn't really know what to do. He's put a little kick in, and it's going to be picked up by Gav Rodden. Seen that a few times from Whitehaven. Their final play options hasn't quite been the best, Stephen. It's been one of the reasons that Swinton haven't probably conceded more points this afternoon.
I think that last set sums the game up. I think they've had lots of field position, certainly early in this second half, where they could have put this Swinton team under more pressure. I think the spine of the Swinton team's played a lot better than the Whitehaven team. I think the 9, 7, 6 and 1 have certainly combined better, and they've just had that cutting edge and that little bit of quality, whereas Whitehaven's, there's certainly not been no lack of effort. I just think that continuity and that quality around that spine area has just been the big difference in both teams.
Killing now the man to fetch it forward for the Lions. We've got up towards the 5 and last, still short of their own 30 are the Lions, but the kick comes in from Briers, charged down by Jack Keller, so then it's going to be offside. So offside at the kick it must be, so it'll be a penalty to Whitehaven. And that's big telling as well. Whitehaven got 4 penalties in the first half. Steve McCormack, what went into the final stages, and that is Whitehaven's first penalty of the second half.
Yeah, and not only that, it's where you get them, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, and the time of the game where they had them, and you just felt as though Whitehaven were getting some momentum, and then just take the foot off the gas and just allow some field position with poor discipline.
Brad Brennan took the ball up, but the full-time hooter then sounded, and it's 28 unanswered points for Anthony Murray's side in the second half here at Heywood Road. It's finished Swinton Lions 40, Whitehaven 12, 12 all at the break.